Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. You know, when I first meet somebody, I often ask them what it is that they do for a living. Some will say I work for Jones Day as an accountant. Another might say that I'm a server at Denny's. And what this does, it gives me an idea of what their income is, what their friends are like, approximately what their lifestyle is like. But more importantly than that, it leads to further questions to carry on the conversation. Today, I want to ask you a question. What is it that you see? If I told you I was an accountant, a salesman, a musician, a promoter, a restaurateur, a cook, a writer, a speaker, a politician, what would you see? As an accountant, you might see someone that's financially conservative, that is stable, but in my opinion, quite a boring person. If I was a musician, you might stereotype me into being a wild type individual, like all the stereotypes of musicians. But today, I'm all those things. Allow me to tell you what I do, but also I would like to tell you who I am. And even then, it's only a perception of what I project to you by telling you only the good things about me and not the bad. Over my life, I've had the realization that I'm an entrepreneur who loves the journey perhaps more than just the arrival of a goal or the achievement. And Zig Ziglar said, if you reach for the stars, you'll never end up with a handful of mud. Well, I've had a lot of mud in my life, and I've had a lot of successes. I don't usually show a lot of emotion, but I do cry when I see movies about people who have overcome great adversity and succeeded. I tend to be an overachiever, and perhaps that's because I came from a judgmental family. When I was with Prudential, management bases your numbers on your worth. So I worked, and when I finally looked up, I saw that I was number 169 in the United States out of 27,000 agents with Prudential. 2% in the top 2% of the world's life insurance agents. I don't avoid pain to experience new horizons. My highs in life have been high and my lows have been low. And I do know this much, that I don't give up. Because if that were so, I would have given up many times over a period of my life when failure was just all I could see. I do know this, that I reinvent myself, and I have a belief system that all things are possible. Main area of my life interest, though, has been music. I used to play with a group called Fireworks, a Christian rock group. We traveled around the country, United States and Canada, had 3 albums out on MCA, and I also got a chance to play with Amy Grant on her album. If I was a motivation speaker, I would be able to tell people that it was me that did it because of what I did and my hard work, but actually, all I did is make a phone call, and the next week I was playing in front of 10,000 people for opening up for BJ Thomas. People work very hard to achieve success, but sometimes it's just God who opens the doors. In between my projects, I worked in transit jobs, such as the restaurant industry. I started out as a dishwasher, moved up to cook. Then after cook, I purchased 2 restaurants. One was Saint's Cafe at 130th and Pearl, and the other was the New Orleans Showboat, a larger $2 million project at 480 and Tiedemann. But during this time, I always come back to Toastmasters to be able to refresh and sharpen my skills. In the political arena, I've done this as well. I've even run for mayor of Parma against DePiro and Lime. I don't know what I'd do if I ever won, but I have run the race. I know one thing for sure as well, that if I died today, none of my dreams are going to die in the box with me. That all my dreams have been realized as far as they can go. I've even written a book called The Power of Home Business Strategies. I did videos, tapes, seminars on that project. The furthest I got there was to take the project to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and speak for Entrepreneur magazine. The thing that allows me to do all my little projects is my tax practice, the one thing that's very successful. I do 1,000 families. I work 10 weeks and take 40 off. It's not always the success that I enjoy. Sometimes it's the struggles, it's the victories, it's the cries you cry, and the laughs you laugh, and the people you meet along the way that make the journey very interesting. My next step is to become a motivation speaker, and I don't mean the kind like a van down by the river. My name is Bob Sinkovic, and I'm a dreamer who lives life to the fullest. Mr. Toastmaster.